Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Dan. This morning I'm going to talk about a very useful topic to the Sri Lankan household, and it's about coconut oil, the truth and myths. I have with me today Dr. Sudarshana Somasiri. He is a principal research scientist and senior deputy director quality assurance of the department Industrial Technology Institute, or what we call the ITI. Good morning and welcome, doctor.
Good morning then.
So, if I may start, now there are some myths among the general public that coconut oil is not good, and for many years this particular discussion had been there in our society. Is there really cholesterol in coconut oil?
Now the simple answer is actually then it's no, because coconut oil is a vegetable oil. Any vegetable oil, they don't have any cholesterol in them, because the cholesterol is component which is present only in animal fat, not in vegetable fat.
But there had been some concern for some time that this coconut oil contains cholesterol or animal fat. It can't be, as you mentioned, but then to adapt to margarine and other materials. So what really prompted for such a concern?
I think that is basically from marketing point of view. There may be some marketing as because they have mentioned that the cholesterol, you get cholesterol when you consume coconut oil. But basically I think that there was some marketing problem, because some people want to promote actually this palm oil and some other vegetable oils. So this may be due to that problem, or maybe misleading comments.
We know that in some restaurants, especially not the household, they repeatedly use this coconut oil for frying various kinds of food. Why this repeated use of frying of coconut oil is harmful?
Yeah, because there are some component which is present in any vegetable oil. When you do frying, actually there is some structural changes. In normal vegetable oils, there are unsaturated double bonds. We call them unsaturated double bonds because there may be some addition to them. And also, when you fry, what will happen is, basically in the natural form it is in the cis form. We call it cis form, and it get converted into trans form. We call cis and trans. These are two different forms, but the problem of trans fat is actually it is a proven carcinogen. So once there is extra amount of trans fat, there may be problem of cancer. So this is very dangerous, and especially when I talk about vegetable oil, the unsaturation or double bonds present in coconut oil is very less. But other unsaturated fats, especially palm oil and other oils, there are a lot of unsaturation. So once you fry repeatedly, what will happen is this unsaturation get into trans form, and when the trans fat get increased, there is a risk of cancer causing. This is the main reason.
Now, according to you, and if you may advise the general public, how many times that really we can use coconut oil for frying purposes?
Well, maximum I think twice. More than that you don't use it, because still even the coconut oil, there may be some trans fat formation. So we have quantified them. So if somebody need real scientific information, the quantitative one, they can refer to us, and we can give them the information. But basically we advise not to use maximum more than twice. So even it's not actually, we are not recommending, but if somebody is using it more than twice, don't use it for frying.
Now, comparing with vegetable oil, what's the best mode for cooking?
I am not, you are referring to the best mode of cooking.
Yeah,
basically you can use coconut oil for any frying purpose, even deep frying and anything. Only thing, don't use it repeatedly. After, when you use it once, maybe twice you can maximum use it. But it should be in a very, very short period of time, because even with the time storage, it get converted into trans fat. So my advice is to use it once is possible.
And looking at the Sri Lankan market, our coconut cultivation, do you think that it's enough to serve the entire country's consumption?
No, not actually necessary, because now there is a problem of coconut. Now you can see that the coconut price has gone up. The best thing you can do is to grow the coconut. And also there are some practices which can increase the yield. Now if we consider Sri Lanka and India, we have seen that in India the average coconut yield is actually about 350 nuts per year from one tree, but in Sri Lanka it is somewhere around 125 to 150. So you can increase that amount about three times if you do proper fertilizing and watering.
As you mentioned, there is a scarcity of coconuts in Sri Lanka right now. And what I heard and understood is that the export market obtains most of this coconut water for drinking purposes abroad, and it has become very popular. Has it been the real cause for this dearth in coconut?
Yeah, to some extent, but not that is not the only problem, because you can remember, because during last period there was a serious drought in this coconut cultivation area. That is one reason, because due to the drought the yield become low, and also there is a export market, and especially our desiccated coconut and also virgin coconut oil. There are two specific products which is going to international market, which has very high demand. So these industries are actually necessary because we want to earn foreign money. So to some extent that has also caused this coconut.
This morning I have with me Dr. Sudarshana Somasiri. He is the Principal Research Analyst, a Scientist, Senior Deputy Director, Quality Assurance Department of the Industrial Technology Institute. And today we are talking about coconut oil, the truth and the myths. Now, getting back to our discussion, Doctor, you mentioned that there is a market, export market for desiccated coconut and virgin coconut oil in Sri Lanka. Now, when you talk about coconut oil and desiccated coconut, what are the main users of these things internationally?
Internationally, actually, this desiccated coconut, we call it DC, it goes to especially in the chocolate market. Now, one of our main buyers, Sri Lankan DC buyer, is actually Mars Chocolate in Switzerland. So they never takes other DCs, but their main supply is Sri Lanka. So we have one of our industry, I can't name them, but they are the main supplier to them. In case of coconut oil, especially virgin coconut oil, now there is a big market for virgin coconut oil because it is used as an ingredient for cosmetic products. So there is a huge demand on this, and it goes to basically cosmetic products as well as pharmaceuticals industry. You know that now this there is very interesting thing in Thailand. This coconut oil is used as a therapy for AIDS patient, because you can't cure AIDS patient with virgin coconut oil, but you can extend their lifespan with coconut oil because it has some very important property which can dissolve the cell wall of the AIDS virus. So there you can control the patient's lifespan. So you can extend that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you this question actually. Recently I came across some information that coconut oil is also good to consume straight away by using a spoon and taking orally. Is this correct?
Yeah, it's correct actually, because the important thing is coconut oil. It is you can easily digest it. Actually, if you drink about maybe 5 ml per day, it is very good for you. But the thing is, provided you have to do your proper exercise and other things, because now the problem is actually when you consume oil, there is a lot of energy in it. So you have to burn that. Otherwise, there will be a fat deposit in your system.
Is it possible to identify adulterated coconut oil or palm oil?
Yeah, so we can do it, but in household you can't do it. You can see the difference, but scientifically you can distinguish both. So we have different techniques where we can identify whether any oil is adulterated or coconut oil is adulterated with palm oil. In fact, recently we did some research, and now we have developed a technique which is called near infrared spectroscopy, where you can identify this particular adulteration within 5 minutes. So it is not non-chemical, it's a spectroscopic method. If somebody needs, so we can provide this particular service. If they suspect this particular sample is adulterated, we can check whether it is adulterated or not, specifically with palm oil.
So considering this palm oil as a whole, what is really virgin coconut oil?
Virgin coconut oil is actually it is a definition given related to the industrial process. Now, when you know when you prepare coconut oil, you can use heat. But when you prepare virgin coconut oil, the maximum temperature that you can go is 60. You have to do the processing below 60 degrees. So that is the basic definition.
What are the benefits of consuming coconut oil?
Well, as I mentioned, because the coconut oil, it's very energetic. So now, especially if you have some underweight children, so what basically you can give them coconut oil because it can help to gain weight, and also the coconut oil is very good for your hair. I think so. We have been using coconut oil for more than 2000 years, so it is very beneficial. So we Sri Lankan, they use coconut oil for every cooking purpose, and also it has a lot of cosmetic applications. If you have some dark spot and other things, so even you can use a little bit of coconut oil, and it's a good moisturizing agent. So you can use it as a moisturizing agent.
Doctor, you mentioned the fact that coconut oil can be given to children for weight gain. At what age can you really start this?
Well, it depends. I think I'm not a doctor in medical, but I think maybe probably around 2 to 3 years you can start, because in the very maybe less than 1 year, so they can't digest actually. So maybe after 2 years, so you can use it for these children.
Now in Sri Lanka, we are very much associated with the use of coconuts and coconut related products, because in Sri Lanka we are well known for coconuts. What are the specific and latest uses of coconut oil?
Yeah, I already mentioned that specifically for this treatment of AIDS patients. So that is one very good application. And also there are a lot of cosmetic products now coming with coconut oil base, because it has a lot of good properties. And virgin coconut oil, it has some vitamin content because it is processed under low temperature. So these are some new products that coming. And also now we have system called you can fractionate any oil. So because it's oil, it's just not one compound, it has different components. Once you fractionate actually, so you can use these fractionated different fractions into different applications.
Now, you have obtained your BSc in chemistry from University of Peradeniya, then MSc in analytical chemistry from University of Peradeniya, as well as you have obtained a PhD in analytical chemistry from University of Colombo, and you are presently working as the principal research scientist and senior deputy director of the ITI, which is the Industrial Technology Institute. What does this institution engage with?
Well, actually we have two main components. One is technical services, where we serve the industries by providing them consultancies, training, and also testing reports, so on. And also other part is R&D, research and development. We have 6 different research and development department: food technology, herbal technology, environmental technology, material technology, and also biotechnology. These are the areas that we are working. Apart from that, we have a good library that is actually one of the best technical libraries in the country, Information Services Center. Technical services, we have 6 different laboratories. One in residue analysis, we call RAL, residue analysis laboratory, then chemical and microbiology laboratory, then environmental laboratory, wastewater and other things we can check, and microbiology, then material laboratory where we can test material, and also calibration. So we are one of the best calibration laboratories in the country. And also we have I told material, and then we have something called electrotechnology laboratory where we can test the environmental noise and pollution, so noise and vibration measurements. All these 6 laboratories are actually internationally recognized via ISO 17025 accreditation system. So any country is accepting our reports.
You said and you mentioned that you're not only involved in, say, one product or one thing in this research process, and you're dealing with diversified areas. Who are your main customers?
Basically, we have local customers as international customers. Our main customer base is actually industries who are engaged in exporting. Maybe they are producing some products, or maybe they are giving some services. Both sectors we do. And also one of our main income generating area is calibration. So we are calibrating industrial measuring equipment in situ as well as when they come to us with the instrument into the institute. Like we do all the basic measurements: temperature, pressure, then length, time, and all these fundamental measurements.
I understand that your services at ITI are needed, especially in the export trade of various items that you are involved with research. Now, if in particular somebody from the suburbs or in the rural areas want to access your services, do you also have some regional offices?
Oh, it's not regional, but we have one R&D complex at Malambe. Actually, it's a newly built one. We started in 2017 this year, January. So we have two departments, herbal technology and food technology, with pilot plant facilities. So if somebody want to pilot test any process, so they can use these facilities in our institute.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Today in Coffee with Dan, I had Dr. Sudarshana Somasiri. He is the Principal Research Scientist, Senior Deputy Director, Quality Assurance Department of the Industrial Technology Institute, or what we call the ITI. He's a chemistry special, having a PhD in analytical chemistry from University of Colombo. And today in Coffee with Dan, we discuss with him about coconut oil, the truth and the myths. And thank you very much, Doctor, for joining Coffee with Dan.
Thank you.
And I will come back tomorrow.